Chapter 45-44. The text of the Way of Heaven is reproduced. Many people thought at first that they were here to convey the news that Duan Lingtian had stepped into the Xeon 7th level, but they didn't expect such a piece of news about another person. What's the situation? Inverse God Realm. This is a group to cross the taboo realm? And have they all succeeded? This Feng Qingyang, who is only a mid-level god, has cultivated the power of the law to the state of great perfection, and the four paths of heaven and earth have also stepped into the 7th level? Are you kidding me? Inverse God Realm. What taboo realm has been mastered to break the tribulation's secret realm? When the words about Feng Qingyang's passage through the taboo realm of heavenly tribulation appeared before the eyes of everyone in the 10,000 realms, and even the people outside the realm, everyone was shocked by it. All the powerhouses in the upper 3 realms even changed their faces drastically. Last time, when Duan Lingtian crossed the tribulation, they also received news. This time, the wind crossed the tribulation lightly, but they did not receive any news beforehand. Obviously, they found a secluded place to cross the tribulation. Of course, even if he didn't find a secluded place to cross the catastrophe, he is only a middle-ranked god, and the power of the catastrophe ushered in is limited, so it's normal that he can't make too much noise. Inverse God Realm. What secrets have you discovered? Otherwise, how could people have survived the so-called impossible taboo realm, heavenly tribulation one after another? Nya God Realm. This is about to take off. When these two people have stepped into the 7th level of the strongest, the God-defying realm won't directly overwhelm us in the upper 3 realms. Even if there is only one person, we in the upper 3 realms are destined to be inferior to the God realm. Although they saw the words of the Tao of Heaven, the people in the upper 3 realms did not move this time. Looking for trouble in the God-defying realm? What a joke. Didn't you see Duan Lingtian's threat not long ago? Unless Duan Lingtian can be found and killed before he breaks through. Otherwise, who would dare to act recklessly against the God realm? Middle 18 realms. Another strong man from the 17th realm ran to the Nishan realm again to congratulate all the acquaintances in the Nishan realm. Master Xiao, your Nishan realm is really about to take off this time. The two of them survived the taboo realm. How did they do it? The Nishan realm will be the best friend of our Huayu realm in the future. Anyone who dares to be an enemy of the Nishan realm will be an enemy of our Huayu realm. In this world, what has always been lacking are people who give charcoal in a timely manner, not people who are icing on the cake. Faced with the flattery of a group of strong people, the group of the most powerful people in the God-defying realm headed by Xiao Mubai, the lord of the God-defying realm, just responded politely to each other and sent them away like a panacea. After sending people away, even Xiao Mubai's eyes were full of surprise. The two masters and apprentices really gave me a big surprise this time. I just don't know where that Feng Qingyang survived the catastrophe. If it is, he witnessed Duan Lingtian crossing the taboo realm. He witnessed it with his own eyes, and he has some expectations and guesses. He really didn't know about Feng Qingyang's side. It was a total surprise. Master Xiao, no matter where he crossed the catastrophe, he is a member of our God-defying realm. A supreme being against the God realm laughed. That's right, there are two existences in our Nishan realm who have survived the taboo realm and catastrophe. Once they step into the Xeon, they will directly be the existence of the 7th level, overwhelming the world and shaking the land outside the world. I really didn't expect that there would be such a day in the God-defying realm. When that time comes, our Nishan realm will leap to become the most transcendent realm in the 10,000 realms. What about the upper 3 realms, all while playing? Many of the most powerful men who followed behind Xiao Mubai's eyes turned brightly. I got some information in my heart. That is, next they will check Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang's growth trajectory in the Nishan realm, and the people or forces they have made friends with, they can take care of them. As for the people or forces who have offended the two of them, they will all be suppressed. In this way, it can be regarded as a good relationship with the two. Of all this, no matter whether it is Feng Qingyang or Duan Lingtian, they naturally don't know. Against God realm, the land left by the gods. Xia family. Xia Jie was ecstatic when he saw the words of the Tao of Heaven twice. I didn't expect that it wasn't just Xiao Tian who took that step. Even his master has taken that step. Shuer is saved. At this moment, Xiaoyu, the head of the Xia family, was also convinced, although Duan Lingshan's son-in-law has long been recognized. But now that his son-in-law has achieved such achievements, even his master is about to become the top existence in the myriad worlds, and even beyond. He suddenly felt that he was really blind in the past. Or my third brother has a good vision. Still, my daughter has a good eye. At the same time, people in Nishan realm who are close to Duan Lingtian and who know of Feng Qingyang's existence are also happy for Duan Lingtian and the others. The outer worlds. In the sky above the Tsangshan mountain, a purple figure stood there volleying in the sky. Looking at the words of the Tao of heaven fading away in the sky, he couldn't help but mutter to himself, unexpectedly, Master has also taken this step, and this figure is none other than Duan Lingtian. After leaving the god-defying realm, he went back and forth several times and returned to the place outside the realm. However, the place where he is now is not the place where he stayed in the land outside the boundary in the past, but another area, which is barren in the eyes. Since the last time he came here, there were also a few blind high-ranking gods who came to provoke him, and they were all eliminated by him. Now, all he has to do is to lurk and wait for the opportunity to step into the realm of the strongest. As long as he stepped into the most powerful realm, not only his wife Kir's soul imprisonment could be lifted, even if he looked at the world, even in places outside the world, there would be no opponent for him. 2 ways to go. The divine tree of life continues to improve, or the gods of the 5 elements help them transform further. Duan Lingtian, prepare to do both. Anyway, the current him doesn't need to waste time to cultivate or comprehend the law, the way of swords, etc. He just needs to slowly digest the memory left by the Wukong old man and integrate it. Myriad worlds. One rate belongs to the subordinate realm of one of the 18 realms. A figure turned into a sword light and left this boundary. Then, he also escaped into the outside world. This person was Feng Qingyang, who had just passed through the taboo realm. Although his catastrophe is relatively small. However, after successfully crossing the tribulation, it still attracted many nearby powerhouses to cross the border. What happened there just now? It seems that someone is crossing the tribulation. The power is not too strong, but it gives people a strong sense of oppression. Could it be that God venerable in the god-defying realm mentioned in the text of the heavenly Tao is crossing the taboo realm? After reaching the outer worlds, the wind is light, and he no longer suppresses his cultivation, allowing his cultivation to improve. In an instant, his entire body of cultivation has stepped from the middle realm to the upper realm, even when the power of his law was extended and the way of the sword was displayed. He sensed the call of the most powerful realm. It came so fast. It seems that I will step into the 7th level of Xian before Xiaotian. In an instant, Feng Qingyang's momentum continued to increase. With a full body of cultivation, not long after breaking through to a high-ranking deity, he further stepped into the realm of the strongest. Waves of heaven and earth visions also began to gather above his head, and more gathered. Chapter 45-45. High-ranking gods, who comprehend the laws to a certain extent, or comprehend the 4 ways of heaven and earth to a certain extent, will be greeted with the call of the supreme realm. However, because of entering the Xian realm too early, the speed of comprehending the laws and the 4 ways of heaven and earth will be slowed down and affected, so that many people will not step into the Xian realm at that time. You will choose the law, and after the 4 ways of heaven and earth are further improved, you can sprint to the strongest realm by yourself. For example, today's most powerful and high-level existences, without exception, are all existences who rejected the call of the most powerful realm when they were high-ranking gods. It is precisely because of this that they can have today's achievements. However, today's wind is light, but there is no need to reject the call of the most powerful realm. Before he stepped into the upper god, he comprehended the law of time to the realm of Dzogchen and the way of swordsmanship to the 7th level, and even attracted that heavenly calamity of the forbidden realm. Now, he has successfully crossed the catastrophe, stepped into the realm of the upper gods, and ushered in the call of the supreme realm. Today, I entered Xian with ease. just entered Xion. It is the 7th level of Xion. In Feng Qingyang's eyes, rays of light condensed and raged. When the aura on his body suddenly swept away, it even caused the bursts of heaven and earth visions that appeared in the sky to collapse. Terrible power swept out of him, causing him to choose one of the 18 middle realms to break through, causing the entire realm to shake a few times. All the creatures in this realm, at this time, have bursts of heartfelt intentions from the bottom of their hearts. Congratulations to Nishan Realm Feng Qingyang. After surviving the taboo realm of catastrophe, he successfully broke through and became the first strongest existence of the 7th level after the historical partition, surpassing the world venerable and saint. When Feng Qingyang completed the breakthrough and the momentum shook the entire realm, another word of the Tao of Heaven was printed into the eyes of everyone in the world, and even the people outside the world. Suddenly, everyone was boiling. My God, there is an existence above the saint? Superior to a strong person in the realm of respect? Isn't that invincible in the world? Defying the God realm, you really defy the sky. Such an existence was born, and in the near future, Duan Lingtian will probably break through, right? This God-defying realm is about to take off. The outer worlds boiled. The world is boiling. At the same time, the outer worlds, Wind Holy Land, Langya Sword Pavilion. This is a semi-holy force, and it is also a semi-holy force that Feng Qingyang has been with before. Earlier, when the words about Feng Qingyang appeared, this semi-holy force boiled over. It's just because the Feng Qingyang mentioned in the text of Tiandao is the Feng Qingyang who has been in their semi-holy force for a period of time. The other party was invited to Langyajianga by their deputy pavilion master. I really didn't expect that little friend Feng Qingyang had concealed the way of swordsmanship he showed earlier. This is soaring into the sky, above the saints. The old and gentle Langyajiang's deputy pavilion master couldn't help sighing with emotion, but the rest of Langya Sword Pavilion regretted it for a while. If I knew it earlier, I should have a good relationship with Feng Qingyang. My God, I didn't expect that in a blink of an eye, the middle level in the past would become the one who surpassed all the powerhouses outside the world, and even all the powerhouses in the world exist. I have long seen that Feng Qingyang is very capable, and it is true. My vision is still good. Me too. I've seen that Feng Qingyang has a destiny to soar into the sky and be invincible. In the reverse God realm, several half-step Jesuan, Xiao Mubai and others gathered together again at this time. They all looked at each other, speechless. Is this a breakthrough? We are against the God realm. Have we emerged from the existence of Xion's 7th level or higher? And, is it still Feng Qingyang, Duan Lingshan's God? After the bursts of silence, it was ecstasy. In Nishan realm, there is an existence that surpasses the powerhouse of realm venerable realm, which also means that from now on, Nishan realm will become the top realm in all realms. I thought it would be Duan Lingtian, but I didn't expect Feng Qingyang to walk ahead. Xiao Mubai sighed. At the same time, the Nishan realm was also boiling. Especially the group of people under Feng Qingyang in the past, they are all extremely excited at this moment. The Nirvana Heavenly Emperor in the past now stands in a place outside the world, even the pinnacle of the myriad worlds. Master? Duan Lingtian, who was sprinting to the strongest realm, couldn't help but feel happy for his master after seeing the heavenly script that his master had broken through. I'm going to hurry up too. The pure water of the world can transform into the highest form immediately. At that time, I can use this to unite with the other 4 kinds of 5-element gods, step into the strongest realm, and become the second strongest 7th level existence in the land outside the world, and even in the world. Duan Lingtian got the memory of old man Wukong. Even if it is the 7th level of Xion, it is not destined to be his end. His goal is to step into the peak that old man Wukong has reached in the past, and then surpass old man Wukong. Even to suppress heavenly Tao. This is also the obsession of Wukong old man. Congratulations, Mr. Feng Qingyang. Congratulations, Mr. Feng Qingyang. Feng Qingyang left the boundary of the breakthrough. In this realm, a world-venerated powerhouse and 4 half-step world-venerated powerhouses came out one after another to send the wind away. bothering everyone. Feng Qingyang nodded to them and smiled apologetically. After all, he found a breakthrough here casually, but he didn't expect such a big commotion, which also caused turmoil in the power of the realm, causing a lot of damage to the realm. My lord Feng Qingyang is serious. It is our honor that you can break through in our realm. The strong man in the realm of respect repeatedly expressed his opinion. No matter what, I owe you a favor this time. After Feng Qingyang left these words, he just left. And the few people present were naturally ecstatic. The favor of the 7th-rank powerhouse? Even if the strongest of the 10,000 realms, the upper 3 realms, come out to attack them, as long as they invite Mr. Feng Qingyang over, the upper 3 realms will probably have to retreat, right? Too strong. After Feng Qingyang left, the powerful man in the realm of dignity breathed a sigh of relief. Although there is only 1 level difference between the 7th level of Xian and the 6th level of Xian, I didn't expect the gap to be so big. He hasn't fully familiarized himself with the power in his body yet, but the changes in power have made me, the 6th level Xian, feel great pressure. As for the others, they lost their composure even more. He gasped heavily for a while. The other side. Feng Qingyang crossed the realm, and soon returned to the Nishan realm. Congratulations, Mr. Feng Qingyang, for returning to the God-defying realm. What Feng Qingyang didn't expect was that Xiao Mubai, the lord of the God-defying realm, brought a group of powerful people to meet him, and each of them respected Feng Qingyang as an adult. Chapter 45-46. You don't have to be polite. When Feng Qingyang smiled calmly, he could see through the cultivation of everyone in front of him at a glance. All of them were only half-step world venerables, and none of them was a world venerable powerhouse. We are against the God realm. Don't we have realm venerable realm? Feng Qingyang asked doubtfully. Hearing Feng Qingyang's words, everyone smiled wryly. If it was before, it would be impossible for them to admit it if asked by outsiders. But now, it doesn't matter. After all, on their Nishan realm side, the world's first strong man who surpassed the realm of realm has already been born. My lord, in the past my father was a realm venerable realm, but he has long since died. But the people of the 10,000 realms don't know it yet. Xiao Mubai sighed and said, now he no longer regards Feng Qingyang as a junior, but regards Feng Qingyang as the patron saint after Nishan realm. Moreover, it is the strongest patron saint. At this moment, he had a feeling of unloading a heavy burden. In the past, in order to better resist the 10,000 years of calamity, the old guys around him were the ones who carried the burden for the God-defying realm, but now someone has shared the burden with him. What's more, this person's share made him no longer have to worry about being known as the unbounded respectable powerhouse in the God-defying realm. We are against the God realm. So what if there is no realm of respect? We have existences beyond the realm of respect. I see. As the other people explained, Feng Qingyang suddenly realized, and then smiled slightly. Everyone, I will be in the God-defying realm in the future, so you can take a breather. My wind is light. Since it comes from the God-defying realm, the matter of the God-defying realm is naturally my business. Now, I still have some things to rush. Just as Feng Qingyang was about to go to the land left by the gods, to help his disciple-in-law, to release the soul imprisonment of the soul-bound clan. He seemed to have noticed something, and suddenly looked up to the distance ahead. Then, let out a cold snort. Humph dash. Feng Qingyang let out a cold snort, and suddenly a huge sword condensed in the void, and then he cut forward, tearing apart the originally vast space with cracks. Numerous cracks spread, and behind these cracks, there are one after another visiting eyes, sweeping from a distance. Everyone, do you want to try my method? After the voice fell, Feng Qing raised his eyes and focused. In the next instant, 2 sword glows whizzed out from his eyes, like 2 sword-shaped gazes. After piercing through the space and entering the space crack, the peeping gazes disappeared indifferently. Puff dash. This is the strength beyond the realm of respect? What a powerful soul power. In various places in the upper 3 realms, there were many powerful people in the realm of the realm, with blood flowing from their eyes and trembling bodies. The world-venerated powerhouse Lei Hong in the bright light realm is also among them. Everyone, what should we do now? The strength of this Feng Qingyang is obviously far superior to ours. If he intends to kill us, we are afraid that we will be powerless to fight back. Everyone, let's get together and discuss countermeasures. After Feng Qingyang, that Duan Lingtian is probably about to become the existence of the 7th level Xian. All the powerhouses in the upper 3 realms felt the danger at this moment. Just now, they just wanted to test Feng Qingyang. And the result of the test was completely beyond their expectations. Feng Qingyang's strength is far beyond their imagination. The gap is too big. If we fight head-on, maybe I can't even stop him with a single blow. Lei Hong, a strong man in the Mingguang realm, was famous for his violent temper in the 10,000 realms in the past, but he is so powerful that he is worthy of the 10,000 realms and even any strong man and saint in the world outside the world. But today, he lowered his proud head. It's just because there is someone in the world that he can't compete with and can even crush him. At the same time as the powerhouses of the upper 3 realms started an emergency meeting, Feng Qingyang also greeted Xiao Mubai and others, and then went to the land of the gods, the Xia family. In the past, the things that had troubled his disciple Duan Lingtian for a long time, as the power of his soul swept out, they were solved in an instant. Here, that is, the soul imprisonment on Xian Yingxue was directly expelled by him forcibly. She's fine now. She just needs to recuperate for a while before she can wake up. Feng Qingyang looked at Xia Yu, the head of the Xia family, and Xia Jie, the 3rd master of the Xia family, who were also in the room, and said with a smile, "Master Feng Qingyang, please." Xia Yu and Xia Jie said respectfully, "You don't need to be too polite. We are old acquaintances." Feng smiled lightly. "Speaking of which, this girl is still my apprentice. Patriarch Xia and I are considered in-laws. That disciple of mine should be about to take the last step and come back. For the next period of time, I plan to stay in the Xia family to practice and wait for my disciple to return, but I have to trouble Patriarch Xia to help me arrange a place to live." Hearing Feng Qingyang's words, Xia Yu quickly shook his head. "No trouble. No trouble. What a joke. This one in front of him is the number 1 person in the world. How many people are trying to curry favor with him now? Even the strongest ancestor of their Xia family is still waiting outside respectfully. There is even a group of Xians coming here, just to meet this one in front of me. The Outer Worlds." Yun Qingyin, who was integrated with the members of the Guhun clan, the current Yun Xinfeng, only felt his soul shake for a while, and then his face became extremely ugly. "My soul was imprisoned and was forcibly dispelled. A strong person in the realm of respect, a saint, may not have this method. It seems that Duan Lingshan's god Venerable Feng Qingyang has come out. There must be a lot of secrets about the 2 masters and apprentices. How could the person in charge take the most critical steps one after another? One has stepped into the 7th level of Xian. Another one. It is only a matter of time before stepping into the 7th level of Xian. Do not know either. Is their secret useful to me?" Thinking of this, Yun Xinfeng's eyes showed a bit of hotness and madness. Upper 3 realms. In the bright light world, a number of world-respected and powerful people gathered together. "Everyone, can we just sit and wait for death?" An old man who looked quite old, with fear in his eyes, asked in a deep voice. "Don't forget, not long ago, after Duan Lingtian successfully passed through the taboo realm Heavenly Tribulation, our upper 3 realms mobilized people to go there, threatening the Nishan realm to hand over Duan Lingtian. Otherwise, we would break the realm. You don't really think that the god-defying realm will let it go after gaining power and don't care about it?" Hearing the old man's words, everyone also thought of the scene of going to the god-defying realm and threatening the god-defying realm in the past, and a bit of remorse flashed in their eyes. That time, it was indeed impulsive. "Then what do you think we can do?" Another person asked in a muffled voice. Chapter 45-47. Just when a group of strong men from the upper 3 realms gathered together, they were thinking about how to deal with the potential threat from the god-defying realm. Suddenly, bursts of voices like Buddhist Sanskrit sounds descended from the sky. Although he couldn't understand what the voice was expressing, it still attracted everyone's attention. When everyone's eyes fell on the sky, above the clouds, a golden light suddenly appeared, tearing through the secrets of heaven, like a divine light coming to the world, shining to the heavens and the earth. This moment, it's not just the powerhouses gathered in the upper three realms. Even people in other places in the upper three realms, even all circles in the 10,000 realms, and every corner of the outer realm heard the sound and saw the golden light tearing through the clouds. Heavenly words again? Under the watchful eyes of everyone, the heavenly Tao characters that had appeared several times before appeared again. It's just that this time it's not announcing who has survived the catastrophe of the Forbidden Realm, nor is it announcing who has become the strongest seventh-order powerhouse after the history is cut off. But after the history is cut off, the first Xeon of the 7th level appears, and everyone should celebrate it. From now on, a Tian tower will appear above the central sea area of the outer worlds. Saints and half-step world lords can go to pass through the level. Once they pass through all the levels and successfully pass the level, they will be able to get a heavenly Tao talisman, which can block taboos. There are 3 catastrophes. As for which catastrophe to block, you can choose independently. With the appearance of this line of heavenly words, the land outside the world, and even the world, became quiet for a moment. However, after a while, many people were puzzled. Tian Pagoda? A talisman of the Tao of Heaven? It can block the taboo and the 3 Tao tribulations? What do you mean? Listen, it seems to be something that allows the world's most powerful people to go one step further. But the more well-informed people, after reading the text of Heavenly Tao, gasped again. It seems that this time, in the land outside the world, and even in the world, there will be one after another existences that surpass the saints and the realm of the world. For a long time, the 7th level of Xeon has been like a curse. But now, with Feng Qingyang taking the lead in breaking the curse, Tiandao simply removed the curse? Why does this seem to be aimed at Feng Qingyang and Duan Lingtian? These 2 people finally survived the taboo catastrophe. One became the existence of the 7th level Xeon, and the other was still on the way. And now, the way of heaven has given other saints, world-respected powerhouses, the hope of stepping into the 7th level of the strongest? The land outside the world, and even the world, was in an uproar at this time. But in the upper 3 realms, all the powerhouses gathered together had their eyes brightened. Ha 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 ha. It seems that Tiandao is not willing to see the Yanai Shen realm family dominate. Everyone, our chance has come. Lei Hong in the Mingguang realm laughed, and his strong body trembled slightly because of the excitement. Although the Tao talisman can only selectively block the 3 taboo calamities, it still gives us great hope. I don't know what you guys think, but I, Lei Hong, must give it a try. Otherwise, let me bow my knees in front of people from the God-defying realm who were suppressed by our bright light realm in the past. I can't do it. Even if you fight this hard, you will die. I admit it. As soon as the words fell, Lei Hong's figure flickered, and he turned into a stream of light and quickly disappeared in place, heading straight to the outside world. His goal is the Tian Tower above the central sea area of the outer worlds. To be precise, it is to break through the many checkpoints in the Tongtian Tower, get the Amulet of Heaven's Tao, and then take the step that will lead to taboo catastrophe that I have never dared to take in the past. Lei Hong, many years ago, came to the point where he was one step away from the forbidden catastrophe. However, because he knew that he would die, he dared not take another step forward. And this time, the appearance of Tian Tower and Heavenly Tao Talisman undoubtedly brought him hope and gave him the opportunity to go further. Of course, even if he got the Heavenly Tao Talisman, he was not fully sure of breaking through the taboo catastrophe. However, he still intends to fight. The blood that has been silent for many years seems to be boiling again. After Lei Hong went to the place beyond the boundary, he continued to yell freely, and his voice shook all directions, as if his voice could be heard by most of the people in the Mingguang realm. Follow Lei Hong away. Someone will follow and leave immediately. Lei Hong is right. In the past, 10 deaths and no lives were enough. Now, the appearance of the Heavenly Tao Talisman has brought us a glimmer of hope. Even if we are close to death, I will try it. A burly old man also stood up after Lei Hong left. It's nothing to me to bow down to the strongest 7th-level existence in the God-defying realm. After all, I walked all the way in the same way many years ago. Only by being able to bend and stretch can we survive better in this world. However, the most recent Xeon heavenly tribulation, I am already a little powerless. I am afraid that it will not be long before I will die under the heavenly tribulation. Instead of waiting to die, it's better to fight back. Or die early. Either go further, you can live for more years. At the same time, there is no need to bow down to those two brats from the god-defying realm. When Lang Sheng opened his mouth, the burly old man followed Lei Hong and left in a blink of an eye. With two people taking the lead, except for about half of the world-venerated powerhouses present who planned to wait and see first, the other half were also infected by Lei Hong and the two and followed. At the same time, among the 18 realms in China, there are also several figures who crossed the realm and went to the place outside the realm. At the same time, Duan Lingtian also saw the heavenly Tao text that had been lingering in the sky for a long time, and his expression became extremely ugly in an instant. Heavenly, it's really shameless. Before Master and I successfully crossed the catastrophe, before Master stepped into the 7th level of the strongest, I never saw it so kindly, helping people overcome the forbidden catastrophe. Heavenly Tao Talisman, can it block 3 robberies? As a person who has experienced the taboo catastrophe, Duan Lingtian knows the taboo catastrophe very well. If he is given the Heaven Tao Talisman, he can easily overcome the catastrophe. Although there are more than 3 powerful heavenly tribulations in the taboo heavenly tribulation, the appearance of this Heavenly Tao Talisman will definitely allow some of the contemporary saints and powerhouses to successfully overcome the catastrophe. If we say that in the past, their probability of success in crossing the catastrophe was almost 0. Once the taboo catastrophe was attracted, 10 deaths and no life. But now, there is a certain degree of certainty that he will succeed in crossing the tribulation and go one step further. But for some saints and superpowers with deep background and powerful means, life and death are at most mixed, and there is a great chance of success in crossing the tribulation. One day, I will break you. Old man Wukong's will, I will definitely help him achieve it. In Duan Lingshan's eyes, the killing intent aimed at Tiandao kept rising, and it was out of control. Chapter 45-48 Tower of Babel? Feng Qingyang, who was in the god-defying realm, naturally saw the words of the Tao of Heaven. For a moment, Duan Lingshan's anger was also set off in his heart. I worked desperately and stepped into the 7th level of Xeon, became the first existence beyond the realm of respect and saints after the history was cut off. Now, seeing that Duan Lingtian, my disciple, will also become the second such existence after me, after the historical barrier. Just at this time, heaven, but suddenly created a Tiantian pagoda, come up with the heavenly talisman. It is obvious that they want to help the existence of the 6th level of the strongest who are stuck in the realm of the world and the realm of the saints, step into the 7th level of the strongest. Isn't this bullying? Why didn't I see you doing this before? Snort dash. Suddenly, Feng Qingyang let out a cold snort, and then flew out of the sky on the spot, and then approached the ground. When he raised his hand, the sword light shone, and the space was torn apart by him. Then, he walked in along the torn space. In a blink of an eye, the torn space closed, and Feng Qingyang had disappeared into the turbulent flow of space. Certainly, with Feng Qingyang's current strength, even if he entered the turbulent space, it would be like walking on flat ground, without any pressure. The destination of his trip is not other places, but the place outside the world. Exactly. He is going to go to the location of the Tiantian Tower above the central sea area of the outer worlds. As for what to do, needless to say, as the only existence of the 7th level Xeon in the current world, Feng Qingyang's speed is not unpleasant. After seeing the words of the Tao of Heaven, announcing the appearance of the Tiantian Tower and the rewards of the Tongtian Tower, Feng Qingyang broke through the sky and came to the outside world immediately. Therefore, he was the first to come to the sky above the central sea area of the outer worlds, where the Tongtian Tower is located. This is Tongtian Tower? In the sky above the boundless sea area, the wind was blowing and standing in the sky, looking at the giant tower suspended in the sky above. Exuding bursts of mysterious aura, his eyes shone brightly. At the same time, he could also sense that there were a lot of auras lurking under the sea area, ready to move. It was a group of sea monsters who noticed the abnormal movement here. Some of them exist because they are attracted by the pure awareness of movement, while others come to watch the excitement. Because the sea area where they are located is the central sea area of the outer worlds. But although the overlord of this sea area is also the existence of the most powerful realm, there is still a long way to go from this sage realm, which is the Jesuan realm of the myriad realms. It's just in Xeon Fourth Order existence. It's a pity that this Tongtian Tower only allows the existence of the 6th level Xeon to enter. Otherwise, I must go in and give it a try. In the depths of the sea, in an underwater palace, a thin old man is holding the imperial power. Sitting on the throne, his eyes are like torches, as if he can pass through the endless sea and land on the sea level. Someone came so soon? Soon, he saw the only young man standing in the air near the Tongtian Tower on the sea level. The young man was dressed in blue and stood with his hands behind his back. He stood there as if he didn't feel the coercion of the Tongtian Tower at all. He's definitely better than me. The old man sucked in a breath of cold air. Even if he was the 4th level Xeon, he couldn't get close to the Tongtian Tower. It can be seen that the opponent's strength is beyond his comparability. At this time, I arrived at the first time, and it's so powerful. I'm afraid it is at least the existence of the 6th level Xeon, he thought to himself. Almost at the moment when his thoughts fell, his gaze pierced the sea, and he suddenly found that the young man in blue, as if he had spotted him, suddenly turned his head and looked at him. At a glance, in an instant, he only felt a terrifying coercion shooting out from the opponent's eyes, flowing upstream along his gaze. Stop! Stop! The two terrifying sword lights destroyed his vision all the way, until finally, with all his means, he barely resisted the opponent's ice sword. Boom! Rumble! At the same time that the old man blocked the opponent's ice sword, the palace he was in was also turned into ruins, and his men with lower cultivation bases were all seriously injured and unconscious without exception. Even if there are a few existences who have stepped into the Xeon realm, either their eyes are bleeding or their faces are as pale as paper, as if they have experienced a life-and-death battle. Wong, who did it? Did a saint attack you? A middle-aged man of medium build asked the old man with a look of fear. Shoot! Hearing the middle-aged man's words, the old man smiled miserably. He didn't make a move. He just looked at me. As soon as these words came out, the people at the scene froze in place as if they had been strangled by the neck. After a while, they all gasped. Take a look? Just let their powerful king be so embarrassed that they even went back to the king's palace? Several of them Xeons were also affected and traumatized? Even the high-ranking sage probably doesn't have such astonishing means, right? My lord, even a saint might not have this ability, right? A young man asked with a look of apprehension. That's natural. Hearing the words, the old man sighed, then raised his head and glanced at the direction of the sea level, and said in a fearful tone, if I'm not wrong. The first strong man who arrived near the Tongtian Tower should be the one who was notified by the text of Tiandao, and the first one to step into the 7th level existence after the history was cut off. He seems to be called. The wind is blowing. Xeon's 7th level? The wind is blowing. Hearing their king's words, everyone present fell into a dead silence again. In the end, someone asked, he has stepped into the 7th level of Xeon. The test of the Tongtian Tower is useless to him, right? After all, the reward for clearing the Tongtian Tower is 3 pieces that can resist the taboo. Heavenly Dao Talisman. It's useless. The old man nodded. Then with a flash of light in his eyes, he said bluntly, if I'm not wrong. He came to prevent those saints from entering the Tongtian Tower. After all, if no one can get the reward of the Tongtian Tower, except for Duan Lingtian, it will be difficult for the existence of the 7th level Xeon to appear in this era. If one person can dominate, why let others grow up? At this moment, he substituted himself into Feng Qingyang, and it was not difficult to guess what Feng Qingyang was thinking. And it's not just him. even people in places outside the world, and even other people in the world feel. The way of heaven is too biased. Why do some people rely on hard work to step into the 7th level of Xeon, but you backhanded and gave a shortcut for others to take? Isn't this for the former? Chapter 45-49. The Tongtian Pagoda, like a majestic giant mountain, hangs in the sky, with mysterious light shining, and a terrifying aura sweeping all directions. People with low cultivation levels cannot approach it at all. Only the existence above the 6th level of Xeon can approach and enter it. This is also the threshold set by the Tao of Heaven. You don't even have the 6th level of Xeon. Why come here to join in the fun? Whoosh! Accompanied by a swift whistling sound, a strong and tall figure appeared from afar. This is a middle-aged man with a resolute and stern face. He is far away from Tongtian Tower, and his eyes are full of heat when he looks at Tongtian Tower. As long as I succeed in breaking through the barrier, I, Lei Hong, will be able to get 3 heavenly Tao talismans to deal with the taboo realm heavenly tribulation. The taboo realm. I have been able to step in a long time ago, but I dare not step in. If I have 3 heavenly talismans, what fear do I have? I still don't believe it. I, Lei Hong, rank among the top 3 in 10,000 realms. Speaking of this, he seemed to suddenly think of something. He paused, and then murmured to himself. In the past, the top 3 existences in the world's strength, under the protection of the 3 heavenly amulets, will not be able to break through the catastrophe of the taboo realm. If you can't break through, even if you die, I will admit it. When the voice fell, Lei Hong had already arrived near Tongtian Tower. However, he did not enter the Tongtian Tower. Just because the way was blocked, a blue figure stood on the side of the Tongtian Pagoda, and a powerful and terrifying consciousness spread out, sweeping all directions, covering a large area around it. Lei Hong, blocked out. The 7th level of Xeon? Feeling the strength of the opponent's consciousness, Lei Hong's face changed. It is not difficult for him to guess the identity of the other party just through the other party's divine sense. The former compatriots of the Tiandao script, the first strongest 7th level existence after the history was cut off, the Feng Qingyang of the God-defying realm. Are you Master Feng Qingyang from the God-defying realm? Taking a deep breath, Lei Hong slightly cupped his hands towards Feng Qingyang and greeted him politely. At this time, several people followed one after another. They are all top powerhouses in the 3 realms of the 10,000 realms. They happened to see Lei Hong bowing his hands, and they were stunned for a moment. They knew exactly who Lei Hong was. In the past, after Lei Hong stepped into the 6th level of Xeon, there was no one in the 10,000 realms, or even the outside world, who could make him bow down. But now, he respects a person so much. They tried out their spiritual sense, and soon, the feedback they got made them realize who the person blocking the way was. The wind is blowing. The strongest 7th level existence in the God-defying realm. All of a sudden, everyone's expressions changed drastically. Why did Feng Qingyang appear here? They don't need to guess. It must be the Tiantian Tower created by dissatisfied with the way of heaven, and wants to stop people like them from entering. Master Feng Qingyang. In fact, Lei Hong was extremely unwilling to call Feng Qingyang like this. After all, in his eyes, Feng Qingyang is just a junior. But, thinking of the strength that the other party possesses now, he has to be afraid. After all, the other party took a step that he didn't take. It's me. Facing Lei Hong's greeting, Feng Qingyang glanced at him lightly and said in a calm tone without any emotion, "From today on, the Tongtian Tower is forbidden. If someone breaks in, die." When it came to the end, Feng Qingyang's tone suddenly turned cold, making people feel like falling into an ice cellar. And then, without waiting for Lei Hong to respond, he was already sitting cross-legged in the void and began to close his eyes to meditate. But the spiritual consciousness that had spread out had never been retracted in the slightest. Still monitoring the quartet. Swish. Lei Hong's face changed drastically. Although he had guessed the reason for Feng Qingyang's appearance here, he still couldn't accept the result. His complexion became a little ugly. Then, he took a deep breath, looked at Feng Qingyang and said, The Tongtian Pagoda was arranged by the Tao of Heaven to give us the strongest 6th-level existences a chance to hit the 7th level. Aren't you afraid that Heaven will punish you and kill you if you act like this? You are violating the law of Heaven. As soon as Lei Hong opened his mouth, he lifted the Tian Dao out, threatening Feng Qingyang. And hearing his words, Feng Qingyang couldn't help but opened his eyes, and then looked at him like an idiot. Heaven will kill me? If Heaven can kill me at will without any reason, why build the Tongtian Pagoda here? Just kill me. Isn't that all right? Why do you want to help other people step into the 7th stage? Laugh. After a sneer, Feng Qingyang closed his eyes again. The indifference on his face showed his confidence that no one would dare to offend. Lei Hong's face darkened. He also had to admit that what Feng Qingyang said was indeed reasonable. The appearance of Tongtian Pagoda is obviously Tian Dao targeting Feng Qingyang and another Duanling Tian who has passed through the taboo realm. If he was Feng Qingyang, and if he was targeted by the Tao of Heaven, he would definitely be like Feng Qingyang, guarding the Tongtian Tower and preventing people from entering. Even what he did might be even better than Feng Qingyang. He will come to the vicinity of the Tongtian Tower and kill all the strongest 6th-level people who want to enter the Tongtian Tower. Everyone, what should we do now? Lei Hong turned his head, looked at the powerhouses from the 3 realms of the 10,000 realms who were following him, and asked through sound transmission. These powerhouses are basically the existence of the 6th Order Xian. Could it be possible to let him prevent us from entering Tongtian Tower? Lei Hong's tone was a little more unwilling. However, after hearing Lei Hong's words, everyone advised him, Lei Hong, stop complaining. Otherwise, what can you do? Are you sure to defeat him? Do you have the strength to disobey him? I think we should go back and have a long-term plan. I still don't believe that he can stay here forever. Right. During the sound transmission, everyone's voice was full of fear, and no one agreed with Lei Hong, because they were all afraid that the silly spore would drag them into the water to deal with Feng Qingyang. This is the first existence of the 7th Order Xian after the historical cutoff. They don't want to be each other's sharpening stone. In other words, Lei Hong's head is relatively strong. Finally, although Lei Hong was unwilling, he could only leave with everyone. After a while, around the Tongtian Pagoda, calm was restored. At this time, a group of sages from all over the world who were hiding in the dark nearby also sighed. Lei Hong's violent guy retreated. They can only return. Originally, they expected Lei Hong to fight each other, so they took the opportunity to sneak into Tongtian Tower. Unexpectedly, Lei Hong was intimidated. It's finally here. After a while, Duanling Tian finally took the last and most critical step with the help of the 5 elements gods. Then, I sensed the call of the most powerful realm. This call, he has experienced in the past. However, that time it was rejected. This time, he didn't refuse again. Bring it on. Extreme 7th level. Duan Lingshan's eyes lit up with anticipation on his face. Chapter 45-50. For Duanling Tian, the fact that his master passed through the Forbidden Realm later than him, but stepped into the 7th level of the strongest, undoubtedly made him yearn for the 7th level of the strongest, and he slackened a little. Because he knew that after Master's breakthrough, it also meant that the Nishan realm was safe, and his wife Kier's imprisoned soul was also saved. However, before he could slack off for a while, he saw the words of the Tao of Heaven appearing again. The appearance of the Tiantian Pagoda and the amulet of the Tao of Heaven made him extremely angry. Under such circumstances, his desire to yearn for the 7th level of Xian became stronger and stronger. God, how shameless! After the historical segregation, 2 people finally appeared, he and his master, who survived the taboo realm and catastrophe, and saw that they would surpass the outside world, even the world. Now, a Tongtian Tower has been created. Those who successfully break through the level in the Tongtian Tower will also get 3 heavenly talismans, which can selectively resist the catastrophe of the 3 taboo realms. This is a deliberate attempt to make fun of those world-renowned and sages of the present age. In this case, he has a sense of urgency. In case other existences above the 7th level of Xian were born because of this, and Heavenly Tao ordered them to deal with him and his master, then they would undoubtedly be in a very dangerous situation. Therefore, Duan Lingtian is also working harder to find a breakthrough in the strongest realm. Search for the 5 elements gods everywhere. Let the 5 elements gods in his body transform further. As long as all the 5 elements gods transform into their final forms, they will be able to help him step into the strongest state in an instant. With his hard work, he finally took the most critical step, successfully ushered in the call of the Xian realm. Xian. This time, Duan Lingtian didn't refuse the call of the most powerful realm and catered to it, allowing it to control the power in his body, and began to change qualitatively. Bursts of terrifying aura swept away from Duan Lingtian. Later, the breath became a little scary. What he was in was just a small world in the myriad worlds. At this moment, the mountain range he was in was completely collapsed, the space was broken, and hideous space cracks spread all over the void. It is no surprise that such a big movement has attracted the attention of a few powerful people in this small world. What a strong breath! Is there a new superpower born in our rain god realm? The 3 Xians in this small world, 1 Xian first-level existence, and 2 Xian second-level existences, were attracted by Duan Lingtian one after another. When they come over, but found, the aura of the person who has broken through to the strongest level in front of him is still growing after stepping into the first level of the strongest. In a blink of an eye, another step forward, just entering the Xian realm, is the second level? The 3 of them looked at each other, and they all saw horror and horror in each other's eyes. It's not over yet? Soon, they discovered that the purple-clothed young man sitting cross-legged in the void was vibrating with cracks in the surrounding space, making him look more ferocious, and then the aura of the young man increased further. Xian third level. The 3 gasped, which also meant that the strength of the person in front of them had completely surpassed them at this moment. Even, the 3 of them teamed up, and it is absolutely impossible for them to be opponents of each other. Our rain god realm. Are we going to turn around this time? One of the 3, an old man with the appearance of a strong man, suddenly brightened his eyes, and his old face twitched because of excitement. The other 2 also looked excited at this time. It's so rare. In their rain god realm, there are very few Xian third-level existences that have ever appeared in history. Now, contemporary, is there finally another one? Only, their excitement did not last long. When they discovered that the aura of the purple-clothed youth was further vibrating, and then the strength of the whole person seemed to climb to a new height. The 3 of them looked at each other again, and then they all looked dull. This is the 4th level of Xian? Is this someone from our rain god realm? At this moment, they questioned. Just because, in their small realm attached to one of the 18 realms in China, looking at the past history, the strongest existence that has ever appeared is the 3rd level Xian. There has never been a 4th order Xian. Theoretically speaking, they are subordinate small realms, and when the power of the realm is often extracted, it is almost impossible to give birth to the existence of the 4th level Xian. But now, it appeared. Then, there is only one possibility. This is someone from outside. People from the outside world happened to come to their rain god realm to seek a breakthrough. Soon, the 3 of them were dumbfounded. At the same time, further confirmation. The person in front of him is definitely someone from the outside world, just because the other party's aura has risen again. Xian 5th level. It's outrageous. Just entered the Xian and stepped into the 5th level of the Xian. Not to mention the middle 18 realms. This kind of existence, even if it is placed in the upper 3 realms, is it a monster among geniuses? Just entering Xian, he is a half-step world venerable, a half-sage from the outside world. Who is he? The pride of the upper 3 realms? At this moment, all 3 of them were shocked. It's not like they haven't seen the existence of the 5th level Xian. The world attached to their rain god realm has the existence of the 5th level Xian. There is even a 6th order Xian. However, as soon as they broke through to Xian, they stepped into the existence of the 5th level, which was the first time they had seen it in their lives. However, what shocked the 3 of them even more was still behind. Under their eyes, The young man in purple was suddenly shocked by the cracks in the dense space around him, and then all of them turned into nothingness. A terrifying black hole in space continued to spread, covering the young man in purple, but it didn't affect him in any way. The turbulent flow of space raged, slapping on the body of the purple-clothed youth, but finally merged into his body strangely. Bursts of even more terrifying breaths raged. What's more, it made them feel extremely depressed, and they couldn't help avoiding it, not daring to get too close. At this moment, they have a strong sense of suffocation. This is the 6th level of Xion, a world-respected powerhouse. Just entered Xion. Is it a world venerable? Even in the upper 3 realms, looking at their past history, such existences are probably rare, right? There shouldn't be such an existence in the contemporary upper 3 realms. You said, he. Could it be that Duan Lingtian? Duan Lingtian? Hiss. You mean, he is the high-ranking deity, Duan Lingtian, who passed through the taboo realm and heavenly calamity in front of Lord Feng Qingyang, who was notified by the Tao of Heaven. Yes, that's him. It's really possible. When the 3 of them vaguely guessed the identity of the purple-clothed youth in front of them, they were inexplicably shocked. The great movement here has also attracted the attention of many powerful people in the nearby realm. In one of the 18 realms that was vassal of the Rain God realm, 2 strong men broke out of the realm, like 2 gods, coming towards the Rain God realm, majestic and majestic. Chapter 45-51. The Yushan realm is one of the 18 realms in China, and it is also the realm that rules the Rain God realm. This moment, the 2 people who walked out of the Yushan realm are the 2 strongest 5th-level existences in the Yushan realm, the 2 half-step supreme beings. The Rain God realm is a small realm under their Yushan realm, very close to the Yushan realm, because, no matter whether it is the upper 3 realms or the middle 18 realms, they all take the nearby realms into their own command, draw the power of the realms at any time to strengthen the realm and maintain the life of the realm. That's right. Any realm in the 10,000 realms has a span and will age. If there is no supplement of new realm power, it will continue to age, until the spiritual energy of the world inside is exhausted. The cultivation resources are getting scarcer, and there are fewer and fewer strong people. Many of today's small worlds once had a glorious past, but more or less due to some reasons, they gradually fell into decline, or even collapsed. There are such weird spatial fluctuations in the Rain God realm. This breath is unusual. The Rain God realm, a half-step world master was born? These 2 people, as the half-step world venerables of the Jade Mountain realm, entered the land of no man like the Rain God realm, and they had no worries at all. After all, this is just a subsidiary realm under their Yushan realm. It's no different from your own back garden. Soon, the 2 came to the scene. My Lord Xiaoming, meet Lord Hashan. When the 2 arrived at the scene, the 3 most powerful men in the Rain God realm also came to their senses one after another, and respectfully saluted the 2 in front of them. For them, the 2 are no strangers. Have seen it a few times before. The 6th level? Boundary prestige? However, Xiaoming and Hishan, who were present at the scene at this time, ignored the 3 great powers of the Rain God realm. Their eyes all fell on the purple figure in the distance, and they all took a breath of air. 2 adults. At this time, one of the most powerful members of the Rain God realm respectfully said, "This lord is the strongest in our Rain God realm that we have just stepped into." In a word, Xiaoming and Hishan turned pale with astonishment, and then they all looked at him. After further confirmation from the 3 people in the Rain God realm, and after hearing the speculation of the 3, they looked at the purple figure again with a little more awe. If he is really Duan Lingtian, this 6th level, I'm afraid it is not his end. I really didn't expect that there would be 2 existences who survived the taboo realm's catastrophe. That's right. Lord Feng Qingyang is now personally sitting outside the Tongtian Tower, so that the land outside the world, and even the saints and world venerables of the 10,000 realms, have no way to enter the Tongtian Tower to participate in the Heavenly Tao experience and seize the Heavenly Tao talisman. I think, if possible, we should make friends with this Pan. Maybe after the friendship is over, if you and I have the opportunity to step into the 6th level in the future, They are willing to let us go and let us try to enter the Tongtian Tower. Friendship? The other party may not be willing to talk to us. While guessing Duan Lingshan's identity, the two also stood aside and watched quietly. It is not a grand event that can be seen from the 6th level of Xian to the 7th level. After they met this time, they will not know if they will have the opportunity to witness the birth of another strong 7th level Xian in their lifetime. Under the eyes of 5 people, the huge black hole in space continued to spread, causing the 5 people to keep retreating. And the young man in purple looked so dazzling in the black hole of space, like the only star hanging there in the night sky, extremely bright. At this moment, if the space black hole is compared to the world, then he is the only one left in the whole world. He sat there cross-legged, as if thinking about it forever. The aura on his body was still vibrating, as if hitting some kind of bottleneck. Boom, rumble. As the black hole in space spread further, all the mountains, rivers in a large area nearby were destroyed, sucked into the black hole in space, and turned into nothingness, was completely obliterated. Suddenly, the purple-clothed youth who had been sitting there cross-legged suddenly stood up. His body can only be regarded as slightly taller than the average person. But when standing up, it gives people a strong sense of oppression. The 5 most powerful people in the vicinity feel the deepest. And then, he opened his eyes. The moment he opened his eyes, a terrifying power raged from his body, as if the power that had been accumulated for a long time was vented at this moment. Wow! The terrible air wave raged, and even the 3 most powerful men in the rain god realm were blown away by this force, like a rootless duckweed. The 2 strongest men in the Yushan realm barely stood still, but their faces were pale, and their eyes were full of shock and fear. This is breakthrough. The 2 looked at each other, and both saw the shock in each other's eyes. In their Yushan world, there is the existence of the 6th level Xian. They have also seen each other compete with the same level outsiders. At that time, they felt that they were very powerful, but in front of the oppressive feeling brought by the person in front of them, it is like the difference between a child and an adult. The gap is too big. Duan Lingtian didn't care about the surrounding situation. Even if he already knew about the existence of the 5 powerhouses nearby, he didn't worry about them daring to shoot him, unless they wanted to die. Finally, we've made it to this point. Feeling the power of complete transformation in the body, it is completely different from before. It can even be said to be a world of difference. After all, before today, he was just a high-ranking deity. 5 elements gods. In a thought, Duan Lingtian raised his hand, and suddenly 5 forces of different colors swept across the sky, and then transformed into a human form in the void. There are men and women, old and young. It is the 5 element gods who have transformed into humans. Thank you, sir, for your kindness in shaping the body. The 5 elements gods used to be like elders in front of Duan Lingtian. But now, after being transformed into a human being, facing Duan Lingtian, who has stepped into the realm of the strongest and is still at the 7th level of the strongest, they all bowed to thank each other, and their voices were full of humility. No way. Today is different. That little guy in the past has now grown into one of the 2 most powerful beings in this world. He is also the 2nd Xian's 7th order existence after the historical cutoff, and at the same time when the 5 elements gods bowed down to thank them. Above the sky, thunder rumbled, striking, and then a somewhat familiar golden text of the Tao of Heaven also appeared in front of the eyes of everyone in the 10,000 realms, and even in places beyond the realms. Congratulations to Duan Lingtian from the Nishan realm. After surviving the taboo realm, he successfully broke through and became the 2nd strongest existence of the 7th level after the historical barrier, surpassing Jesuin and saints. Chapter 45-52. Finally caught up with Master's footsteps. Looking up at the Tiandao characters on the horizon, Duan Lingtian smiled calmly. Then, he looked at the 5 elements gods and said, "Next, I don't have much need for you. You have also shaped your body now, and you can live independently like normal life. Go live your life. In the future, if there is anything that cannot be solved, as long as it does not violate my personal principles, as long as it is something I can solve. You can come to me. I will make a move. Each person, limited to 3 times. He made a move out of affection, not out of duty. He was also worried that the 5-element gods would come to him for big and small matters in the future. Therefore, the number of times is limited. Of course, if they really needed help, even if it had been more than 3 times, and he felt that he needed to take action, he would do the same. 3 times, just to let them know. Duan Lingshan's shot was not cheap. He always remembers the help of several people who helped him during his journey. You have been with me for many years, my principles. You should be very clear. Hearing Duan Lingshan's words, the gods of the 5 elements bowed to thank each other. Thank you, my lord. Go. Duan Lingtian waved his hand and said. The 5-element gods, after he stepped into the strongest realm, were able to shape their bodies because they also had the strength of the strongest realm, and neither is weak. After all, they themselves are the gods of the 5 elements, and now they are reborn after plastic surgery, and they are the bodies of the 5 elements. In the future, as long as you work hard, you will step into the extreme of your own 5 elements, and it will only be a matter of time before you achieve minor perfection and great perfection. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Except for the gentle woman transformed into Jingshi Shenshui, the other 4 5-element gods all left like ghosts the moment Duan Lingtian finished speaking. With the strongest strength, they can cross space, shuttle space turbulence, like walking on flat ground. Sister Shui, you are? Seeing the woman left behind, Duan Lingtian was a little puzzled. The woman, Jingshi Shenshui, heard the words and smiled leisurely. I'm like them. I've been with that tree of life for many years, and I've long been used to being by her side. To me, she is no different from my mother. Now, although I have been reborn, I don't have any desire for the outside world. I just want to stay by her side and be with her. I hope the adults can fulfill it. In the past, Jingshi Shanshui always called Duan Lingtian Xiaotian. But now when he directly addresses adults, his tone is also very respectful. Hearing what Jingshi Shenshui said, Duan Lingtian shook his head and smiled. Sister Shui, you should still call me Xiaotian. Since you want to stay, then stay. The sacred tree of life stood in the small world inside his body, and it became more vigorous as he stepped into the Xian with all his cultivation. Just now, following the request of the other party, he opened a gap in the small world in his body, allowing the other party to watch the Jingshi Shenshui leave. Unexpectedly, Jingshi Shenshui stayed for her. Don't dare. Jingshi Shenshui was a little apprehensive. Your Excellency, you are now one of the strongest people who have appeared after the severance of history. You are not the previous high-ranking gods. Duan Lingtian only sighed inwardly about the distance between Jingshi Shenshui and himself, and then did not persist. Let her go. Seeing the pure world Shenshui return to the small world in his body, sitting cross-legged under the divine tree of life, it seems that the breath of the divine tree of life is getting stronger. This scene also made Duan Lingtian secretly amazed. After regaining his senses, he shut down the small world in his body that had already undergone earth-shaking changes with a single thought, and then looked at the few strongest people present. Following Duan Lingshan's gaze, the 3 people from the rain god realm knelt down in the void. Congratulations, my lord, for stepping into the 7th level of Xian. Congratulations, my lord. When the 3 of them knelt down to Duan Lingtian, the 2 Xian 5th ranks in Yushan realm originally wanted to bow down to congratulate Duan Lingtian, but now all 3 of them knelt down and secretly called them dog-licking at the same time. The 2 of them also knelt down. Hashan, Jade Mountain, congratulations, my lord, for stepping into the 7th step. Xiao Ming from the Jade Mountain realm, congratulations, my lord, for stepping into the 7th step. The 2 knelt down to congratulate each other. 2 Xian 5th stages? Duan Lingtian swept out his consciousness and quickly confirmed the cultivation of the last 2 people who knelt down, and he couldn't help being a little surprised. At the same time, I feel that Jade Mountain realm sounds familiar. After another thought, isn't Yushan realm one of the 18 realms in China that is as famous as his hometown, Nishan realm? Before, he had heard people mention the Yushan realm. He even knew that the rain god realm he was in was one of the small realms attached to the Jade Mountain realm, so he was not surprised that the most powerful person from the Jade Mountain realm appeared here. The fifth level of Xian. Looking at the two kneeling in front of his eyes, Duan Lingshan's eyes couldn't help becoming a little complicated. The fifth level of Xian. Placed in the 10,000 realms, it is a half-step world venerable, like the world lord of the Nishan realm Xiao Mubai. Put it outside the boundary, it is half-holy. Existing like the Yui semi-sage Duan Yue of the Duan clan in the Thunder Sacred Realm Bibo, Tianfu Customs Clearance Area in the past. Whether it is Xiao Mubai or Duan Yue, in the eyes of Duan Lingtian in the past, they were high and powerful existences. Standing in front of them, they could vaguely feel oppression. And now, existences comparable to Xiao Mubai and Duan Yue knelt down in front of him, extremely respectful. Even, as long as he wanted to, with a wave of his hand, he could kill these two people. What's the situation over there at Tongtian Tower? Do you two know? Duan Lingtian looked at the two people in Yushan realm and asked calmly. Hearing the words, the two people in Yushan realm were taken aback for a moment, and then said truthfully, My lord, since the Tongtian Pagoda came into the world, another 7th-rank Feng Qingyang from the god-defying realm where you are, has been guarding there, preventing the world venerable from the 10,000 realms and the saint from the outer realm from entering it. More words, whoever dares to enter the Tongtian Tower with the intention, he will kill him. Because of this, although Tongtian Tower has been opened for a while, no one has ever entered it. After hearing what the two said, Duan Lingtian frowned. Just as he guessed. He guessed earlier that with his master's temperament, the way of heaven is so unfair. He will definitely not let it go. Really? Shurzuan is still the past Shurzuan. Of course, if it were him, he would do the same thing. I stepped into the 7th level by myself, but you, Tiandao, came up with such a backstab. Isn't this an obvious bully? The Outer Worlds. Thunder Saint Realm. Sacred Cloud Sect. Fujia. When he came back to his senses, Duan Lingshan's eyes shot with murderous intent. Just now when he thought of that Yui half-saint Duan Yue, he was ready to avenge him. But now, he is going to go back to God against God realm first to see his wife Kier. Afterwards, he took a trip to the Thunder Sacred Realm outside the boundary and wiped out the semi-sacred Force Fu family in the area controlled by the Qingyun Sacred Sect. In the past, it was the Banshing of the Fu family who joined forces with the other two to kill Duan Yue. After Duan Yue's death, he promised Duan Yue himself that he would avenge her when he had enough strength in the future, in order to repay Duan Yue's kindness in taking care of him in the past. Chapter 45-53. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. Duan Lingtian broke through and became the second existence to step into the Xian 7th stage after the historical barrier. Tiandao text announcement. All of a sudden, people from all over the world, even people from all over the world, knew the news. The Outer Worlds. Central Sea Area. Near the Tongtian Pagoda, originally sitting cross-legged and closing eyes to rest the mind, the wind was light. But after opening his eyes and seeing the heavenly characters on the horizon, a smile appeared on his face. Shout Yan, I finally took this step. The two of us, stepping into the 7th level of Xian together. If the relationship between our master and apprentice is spread, it will undoubtedly make a good talk. Knowing that her disciple Duan Lingtian had made a breakthrough, Feng Qingyang was also happy for him. From now on, the land outside the world, and even the world, in terms of strength, they are respected by the two masters and apprentices. Certainly. Although he knew that his disciple Duan Lingtian had stepped into the 7th Xian, and guessed that the other party would return to the Nishan realm, he didn't plan to go back to meet his disciple. The most important thing he needs to do now is to keep an eye on this Babel Tower. Don't let any existence of the strongest 6th level enter. We, the master and apprentice, have gone through hardships, relying on our own efforts and opportunities to have the strength we have today. Why are you able to follow the way of heaven and give it on purpose, which is obviously a shortcut for us? Until now, thinking of this matter, Feng Qingyang is still very angry. Otherwise, he wouldn't be guarding here, preventing those existences of the 6th level Xian from entering the Tongtian Tower. He is not afraid of other existences of the strongest 7th level in this world. If someone can, Like him and his disciple Duan Lingtian, completely rely on his own strength to break through the taboo realm and step into the 7th level of Xian. With his personality, it is impossible to target the other party. What he is targeting now is the way of heaven. The way of heaven is unfair, so let me uphold justice. After Xiaotian returns to the Nishan realm, he will definitely know that I am here. Feng Qingyang muttered to himself, stood up, looked up at the Tongtian Tower not far away. His eyes flickered with coldness. With my own strength, it is difficult to destroy this Tongtian Tower. When Xiaotian comes over, I will try to join hands with him to see if we can break the Tongtian Tower. As long as the Tongtian Tower is broken, he doesn't need to keep guarding here anymore. Besides, that day, there should be no way to directly attack me. Otherwise, I prevented others from entering Tongtian Tower, and he would not have remained silent until now. It's been a while. All the powerful people in the upper 3 realms stayed near the Tongtian Tower because of Feng Qingyang, so only 1 or 2 people were left nearby. As long as Feng Qingyang leaves, they can make a comeback, enter the Tongtian Tower, and try to get the Heavenly Dao Talisman. Only, what they didn't expect was, it hasn't been long since they returned to their home realm, even just a few months. In the past, the first person to break through the taboo realm of heavenly tribulation, and also the first person to be announced by the text of the heavenly Tao to the myriad worlds and places outside the world, unexpectedly appeared in the text of the Tao of Heaven again. This Duan Lingtian from the God-defying realm, has he stepped into the 7th level of Xian? Feng Qingyang was originally just a middle-level deity. After breaking through the taboo realm, as long as he stepped into the upper-level deity, he could quickly become the strongest. It's not that easy to re-enter Xian. I didn't expect him to break through so quickly. Originally, there wasn't even a 7th level existence in the 10,000 realms, or even in the outer realm. Now, 2 people suddenly appeared, and they both came from the God-defying realm. From now on, it will be a joke for us to go to the 3 realms. The Nishan realm is the well-deserved first realm of the 10,000 realms. A group of world prestige powerhouses from the upper 3 realms didn't look very good at this moment. After all, in the past, looking at the land outside the world, and even the world, they were the people who stood at the top, standing high above, overlooking all living beings, making people only look up. But now, above their heads, there are 2 existences stronger than them. How does this make them feel better? I don't believe it. That Feng Qingyang can guard the Tongtian Tower for a lifetime. In the Mingguang realm, Lei Hong snorted coldly, showing unwillingness. Besides, I don't believe it either. Heavenly, I will let Feng Qingyang handle it. The outer worlds. A group of saints were also blocked by Feng Qingyang outside the Tongtian Tower some time ago. Facing the strong and powerful Feng Qingyang, they could only retreat honestly. Among them, the saints from the Thunder Sacred Realm Bibo Tianfu were eager to enter the Tongtian Tower, but in the end they had no choice but to go back and forth. No way. Feng Qingyang's strength is too powerful. Even if they teamed up with a group of saints, it would be difficult to deal with each other. Between the 6th level and the 7th level is a huge hurdle. In the middle, there is a taboo realm of mortal catastrophe. Risk and reward often go hand in hand. Duan Lingtian has also made a breakthrough. He used to be the guardian disciple of our Bibo Tianfu Golden Dragon Palace, and now he has broken through to the 7th level, and he is still a person who defies the gods. That Feng Qingyang should sell his face, and let him shall our saints from Bibo Tianfu enter Tongtian Pagoda? In the past, I also saw Duan Lingtian in our Bibo Tianfu, competing with the most powerful existence under our Bibo Tianfu sage. At that time, I really didn't expect that Duan Lingtian would be able to have the present in such a short period of time. Achievement. It's outrageous. Duan Lingshan's current strength is above the most powerful saint in our Bibo Tianfu. After all, there is a fate between Duan Lingtian and Bibo Tianfu. In addition, the saints of Bibo Tianfu also wanted to enter Tongtian Pagoda. Therefore, Xiao Tianxi, the master of the Golden Dragon Palace in Bibo Tianfu, was quickly sent out and asked him to go to Nishan Realm to intercede with Duan Lingtian, so that the saints of Bibo Tianfu could enter Tongtian Pagoda. Although Xiao Tianxi was helpless, he felt that Bibo Tianfu was in a difficult position. However, he could only agree to take a trip. However, I dare not make a promise. I really didn't expect the little guy from the past, in the blink of an eye, has grown into such a terrifying existence. Existence above the saint. On the way to the teleportation formation, Xiao Tianxi couldn't help sighing in his heart. His gaze was particularly complicated. The existence of the 7th level Xian. With such an existence, even if they want to destroy the entire Bibo Tianfu, it is probably just a matter of gestures. And when Xiao Tianxi had just set off, Duan Lingtian also returned to the god-defying realm. As soon as they arrived in the Nishan realm, they received a warm welcome from the world lord Xiao Mubai and others, and their postures when facing Duan Lingtian also completely changed. Even the name has changed. Master Duan Lingtian. Master Duan Lingtian. Chapter 45-54. In this world, the strong are respected. In the past, before Duan Lingtian rose to prominence, he was obsequious in front of the strong, not daring to take a breath, for fear of offending the strong and being wiped out by the opponent's fingers. Nowadays, as soon as Duan Lingtian rose to the top, he stepped into the 7th stage of the strongest, becoming the second existence above the realm of respect and saint after the historical separation between heaven and earth. Now he and his master Wind lightly raised a glance. Not to mention in the Nishan realm, even in other realms of the 10,000 realms, or even outside the realm, they are all existences standing at the pinnacle. Even, his potential is higher than Feng Qingyang. It is true that Feng Qingyang has his own talent and savvy, but it is more due to the inheritance of the former strongman of the god-defying realm, the Sword of Time. The Sword of Time, at its peak, did not reach the 7th level of Xian. His help to Feng Qingyang is very limited. It is amazing to help Feng Qingyang step into the 7th level of Xian. And Duan Lingtian, as a person who perfectly integrated the memory of the super-strong old man Wukong before the historical partition, as long as he further perfectly understands the memory of old man Wukong and puts it into practical use, he will become the second old man Wukong. Just a matter of time. What Duan Lingtian has achieved now is astonishing in the eyes of others. However, if we look at the lifetime achievements of the old man Wukong, it can only be regarded as a new starting point. Hello, Lord Xiao. Everyone, I still have some things to do. Let's meet again when I have time. After saying hello to Xiao Mubai and others, Duan Lingtian moved forward and disappeared out of nowhere in front of them. This scene also made several people gasp. The existence of the 7th level. The speed is so terrifying. Too strong. The last time Master Feng Qingyang came back, I haven't seen him show such speed. However, judging from the current situation that no one can enter the Tongtian Tower, it is self-evident that Master Feng Qingyang is strong. Between several people whispering, Duan Lingtian has already returned to the land of the gods. The Xia family appeared silently in the Xia family mansion. Even, it appeared silently in a quiet courtyard in the Xia family mansion. Who? Duan Lingshan's sudden appearance also alarmed the guard maids in the courtyard. The other party's expression changed first, and then after seeing Duan Lingshan's appearance clearly, they all showed joy. It's Uncle. Uncle is back. These servant girls are the servant girls who served Kier in the past. They have been with Kier for many years, and they have also met Duan Lingtian, so they recognized Duan Lingtian at a glance. After recognizing it, they bowed respectfully and saluted. Duan Lingtian nodded to the maidservants, then walked into the room. During this process, he also casually asked, "Before me, did someone come and treat your lady?" What I got was an affirmative response. Duan Lingshan's heart warmed up. Just as he guessed, the master who stepped into the 7th level of Xian before him has already come. At this time, Duan Lingtian had already walked into the room, spreading his powerful spiritual sense, and quickly observed his wife Kier's current situation clearly. The power that imprisoned the soul has disappeared. However, the soul is unstable. After all, it has been traumatized and imprisoned for many years. Even if it has the ability to heal itself, it will take some time to recover. However, looking at the recovery speed of the soul, it is obvious that some things that are helpful to the recovery of the power of the soul have been used. Or a panacea, or a natural treasure. When he came to the bed and looked at his wife Kier, who was still sleeping, Duan Lingshan's eyes softened instantly, and he took his wife's hand with one hand. Kerr, from now on, no one can hurt you anymore. Do not worry, Duan Lingtian muttered to himself. Looking at his wife's pretty face like this, he didn't come back to his senses for a long time. I don't know when. The third master of the Xia family, Xia Jia, has arrived, and the head of the Xia family, Xia Yu, has also arrived. However, they all just stood at the door of the room, looking at the purple figure squatting in front of the bed. Xia Jia looked relieved. Xia Yu had a complicated expression on his face. Once upon a time, he didn't like this son-in-law from a small place at all. It wasn't until the other party showed amazing talent and strength, coupled with his daughter's persistence, that he had to compromise. And now, this son-in-law, whom he looked down upon in the past, has grown to the point where he looks up to him. Now, even the ancestor of their Xia family, who was considered invincible in his eyes, would be hard-pressed to take a single move against this son-in-law. Swear, your vision is better than your father's. Xia Yu sighed inwardly. The two stood there silently. Even if they wanted to catch up with Duan Lingtian, they didn't disturb Duan Lingtian, waiting for Duan Lingtian to come back to his senses. Duan Lingtian had already noticed the gaze behind him. However, he didn't care. There is no threat. Even if there is a threat, with his current strength, he is not afraid at all. After 3 full hours, Duan Lingtian just looked away, stood up, turned around, and looked at the two people standing at the door. Third uncle. He first greeted Xia Jia with a smile. He respected from the bottom of his heart the third master of the Xia family who had helped him when he was young. Patriarch Xia. As for the cheap old man, if he wants to change his words, he should wait for his wife Kier to wake up first. Xia Yu also knew this truth, so he just smiled wryly and didn't say much. Xia Jia, on the other hand, laughed and kept feeling. I really didn't expect, you kid. One day you can achieve what you are today. This achievement is beyond my wildest dreams. In Xia Jia's eyes, being able to become the strongest is already considered pretty good. As for the strongest among the strongest, he dare not think about it. Even in the history of their Xia family, the strongest Xian who has ever appeared is no more than the 4th level of Xian. Third uncle, no matter what achievements I have made, I am your junior, your niece and son-in-law, Duan Lingtian said with a slight smile. Haha, that's natural. If you dare to float, wait until that girl Ningxue wakes up and see if I don't let her clean you up. Xia Jia said with a laugh. After chatting with Xia Jia for a few more words, Duan Lingtian took his leave first and left. Third uncle, I still have something to do. I have to leave for a while. I'll come back with Kier to see you after I'm done. Duan Lingtian greeted Xia Jia. Then, he sent Kier into the small world inside his own body. Now, the small world inside his body seems to have become a world. Inside, the divine tree of life glows softly, and the breath of life is extremely strong. In addition, the divine water of purification is attached to the divine tree of life, and through the divine tree of life, it provides this world with an inexhaustible source of water. Kerr, from today onwards, we will never be separated again. Although the former Duan Lingtian was able to send Kier into the small world inside his body, he was worried that Kier would be implicated if he died in a disaster. Now, there is no such concern. Looking at this world, as long as Tiandao can't directly deal with him, there will be no one who can kill him. Not to mention that Tongtian Pagoda is guarded by his master now, and those world venerables and saints are not allowed to enter. Even if those people can enter, there will be an existence of the 7th level Xian, and it is impossible to kill him. Next, let's take a trip to the land outside the boundary, the Thunder Saint realm. When Duan Lingtian left the god-defying realm, killing intent shot out in his eyes. Sister Wei, I'm going to avenge you. Chapter 45-55. Returning to the land outside the boundary, breathing the air of the land outside the boundary, Duan Lingshan's mentality is completely different. Back then, when he first came to the outside world, he walked on thin ice, fearing that he would encounter an unreasonable strong man who would kill him. Later, although it was not so unlucky, it was also close to death. Red Demon Ridge. Red Devil. Until now, Duan Lingtian can't forget that when he first came to the land outside the boundary, he strayed into the Red Demon Ridge and was imprisoned by the owner of the Red Demon Ridge, the most powerful Red Demon. At that time, the Red Demon imprisoned many people. The purpose is to find a new body suitable for him, and he wants to be reborn. Because, in the future, he is not sure how to deal with the 10,000-year catastrophe of the strongest, and he wants to rely on the advantages of his clan to seize his home to avoid the catastrophe of the strongest. Almost forgot about that. Thinking of the Red Demon, Duan Lingtian did not think of any accidents, the round token back then. At the beginning, after he was imprisoned by the Red Demon, he was forced to participate in the test set by the Red Demon. One of the people imprisoned by the Red Demon was named Wang Yiyuan. Before Wang Yiyuan died, he gave him the token and asked him to help take care of his sister. Later, Duan Lingtian also made a special trip to Wang Yiyuan's house, settled his sister, and repaid his gift of the token. That token is the return to the ruins key left by a powerful man. A 5th-level Xeon, that is, a half-step world venerable, something left by a half-sage. There is a spirit in the token. Return to the ruins? Thinking of this, Duan Lingtian began to communicate with the spirit in the token. I have stepped into the most powerful realm now. What happened to the Guishu left by your original master? Is it the ruins left by the strong man before the historical partition that he found? Later, Duan Lingtian also met the return to the ruins, and he has a certain understanding of the return to the ruins, knowing that it is basically a secret space left by the strong before the historical partition. And as the spirit in the circular token spoke, Duan Lingtian knew that the so-called Guishu was just borrowing the name of Guishu. That is to say, the space left by the half-step Jesuin with some opportunities is still different from the real Guishu, and there are also some inheritances left by the other party. However, it is of no use to him now, because what he has achieved now has far surpassed that half-step world venerable. What the other party has, he may not have now, but as long as he is willing, it is not difficult to get. Free later, let's go to that place to return to the ruins and see what he left behind. Maybe there's something useful, Duan Lingtian secretly thought. As for the spirit in the circular token, because it has been communicating with the divine tree of life and the divine water of purification, it also knows the current achievements of this new master. Naturally, he also knows that the other party may not be interested in what its original owner left behind. I can only sigh in my heart. Perhaps his original owner never dreamed that the person who got the inheritance he left behind would step into the most powerful state and reach the threshold of entering the place where he left his inheritance. And when he first entered the most powerful state, he would breaking through to a realm that he never reached before his lifetime. Xeon's 7th level? It's outrageous. Fujia. It is the family attached to the Saint Power Qingyun sacred sect in the landmine Holy Land outside the boundary. It is a semi-holy force. Only the forces with semi-holy powerhouses in the clan can be called half-holy forces. The Fu family in the past could only be regarded as an ordinary semi-holy force under Qingyun Shengzong's command, because under Qingyun Shengzong's command, there are still many semi-holy forces that are not weaker than it. So much so that the Fu family didn't have much sense of existence. But a few years ago, the Fu family became the most popular semi-holy force under the Qingyun sect, because the Fu family has a second semi-saint powerhouse, Fu Liangyu. Fu Liangyu? This name sounds familiar. Duan Lingtian had just arrived at the Thunder Saint realm, the area under the jurisdiction of the Qingyun sacred sect, and inquired about the Fu family, and soon learned that the Fu family now has 2 half-sages, which are highly valued by the Qingyun sacred sect. I remembered. During the lightning flash, Duan Lingtian remembered. Fu Liangyu. Isn't he the same member of the Fu family that he met in a teleportation array within the Qingyun sacred sects area when he and Yui half-sage Duan Yue returned from Nishan realm to the outside world? Until now, he still remembered Fu Liangyi's gloomy face when he came forward to greet Duan Yue. At the beginning, the reason why his sister Yue was targeted by the semi-sage of the Fu family and even found someone to join forces to kill him was probably because Fu Liangyu sold his sister Yue. Otherwise, how would the semi-sacred powerhouse of the Fu family know that Duan Yue, a semi-sacred Duan from the Duan clan of Bibo Tianfu, had arrived in the area of Qingyun sacred sect? My sister, Yu Wei, was killed by the semi-saint of your Fu family. You are lucky to break through and become a semi-saint. In an instant, Duan Lingshan's originally peaceful eyes became colder and murderous. Fu Jia originally wanted to find someone to ask where the Fu family was, but Duan Lingtian happened to hear someone talking in the restaurant, saying that he saw a young master of the Fu family just now and went to the box upstairs. All right, there are people who lead the way. Boom. With a loud noise, the door of the box was blasted open, startling several people inside. Who are you? Are you courting death? Inside the box, the faces of the young people sitting at the front of the table changed drastically, and one of them even stood up, looking at the young man in purple who walked in slowly with killing intent in his eyes. Who is from the Fu family? Duan Lingtian asked calmly. What an arrogant guy. Anu, kill him. The young man who stood up with killing intent in his eyes saw Duan Lingshan's arrogance, gave an order, and the old woman in Tsingyi who stood behind her immediately responded, Yes, young master. Then, as soon as she moved, she swept towards Duan Lingtian. He didn't even bother to probe the other party with his spiritual sense. She is not the top existence among the high-ranking gods, but she is also an existence in the middle and upper reaches. Even if the opponent is a high-ranking god, she is unlikely to be her opponent. What's more, she is still from the Fu family. This restaurant is still owned by a subsidiary family under the Fu family. What is she afraid of? However, the old woman hadn't had time to get close to Duan Lingtian. A gray light shot out from Duan Lingshan's eyes, flashed a crack in space in front of her, and then vibrated in an instant, turning her into powder. A person who was a real person disappeared in the blink of an eye. Who was from the Fu family? Duan Lingtian asked again. But this time, the few people inside didn't dare to be arrogant anymore, and the young man who let the old woman make a move was even more frightened. His face turned pale and his body trembled. The most powerful? At the same time, several other young people, feeling the huge pressure caused by the sudden sweep, knew that this was the consciousness of the young and powerful man in front of them, and their expressions suddenly changed. Then, he hurriedly sold the young man whose face was pale from fright. Senior, his name is Fu Hui. He is the only member of the Fu family here. Yes, Senior, he is the only one from the Fu family here. The strongest, although there are Xians in their family. However, they are only marginal figures in various families, and there is no way for Xian to fight another Xian for them. Behind Fu Hui, there is a grandfather of the strongest, but it is only the first level of the strongest, and he was injured a few years ago, and he is still recovering from his injuries. Chapter 45-56. The Fu family, not to mention being well known in the area governed by the Qingyun sacred sect, is a top family that can be ranked. Even looking at the entire Thunder Saint realm, the Fu family is a very famous existence. After all, the Fu family is not only a semi-saint force, but also the most powerful semi-saint force in recent years under the Qingyun sect, because there is a second semi-saint among them, a double and a half saint. The Fu family has suddenly become under the Qingyun sacred sect, and is expected to be the rare double-half holy family in the history since then. Moreover, Fu Liangming, the Mingyao semi-sage of the Fu family, is also a semi-sacred powerhouse who has been famous for many years, and his strength can also be ranked in the forefront among many semi-sacred powers in the Thunder Saint realm and even outside the world. His younger brother Fu Liangyu lived up to his high hopes a few years ago, and with his help, he successfully became a semi-saint. Inside the restaurant box, different from the panic of the friends who had dinner together, Fu Hui forcibly calmed down the moment his face showed fear. He looked at the purple-clothed young man in front of him. His face darkened, and he said, Your Excellency, what are you looking for from the Fu family? I, Fu Hui, although I am not a core child of the Fu family, there is an elder who is the most powerful member of the Fu family. Xian, is it amazing? His grandfather was also the strongest. Since you know our Fu family, you should also know that our Fu family is a double-half holy family with two half-saint powerhouses. Before Duan Lingtian could speak, Fu Hui said again, I guess you don't know this. Otherwise, You wouldn't have killed my servant. From Fu Hu's point of view, the powerhouse in front of him is most likely to be a powerhouse from outside, or even a visitor from myriad realms, and he doesn't know the status of the Fu family in the Qingyun sect area of the Thunder Saint realm. He didn't even know the Fu family's strength. However, Fu Hui soon discovered that even if he told the other party that the Fu family was a double half-holy family with two half-holy powerhouses, the other party still had a calm expression. Are you playing tricks? Still don't know what half-holy means? Are you from the myriad worlds? Not an aborigine from the outer worlds? Fu Hui asked with a frown. Hearing Fu Hu's words, Duan Lingtian, who was originally indifferent, couldn't help being startled, then subconsciously frowned and asked, "How do you know? Did it get recognized?" Not right. He has never been here. Back then, he also met Fu Liangyu from the Fu family along with the Yui Bansheng. Of course, Fu Liangyu at that time was not yet a half-saint. Just became a semi-holy a few years ago. Snort. Facing Duan Lingshan's response, Fu Hui immediately understood and said with a cold snort, "If you are not a person from the myriad worlds, would you not know what a semi-sage is? What does it mean?" Duan Lingtian was taken aback. People from all over the world don't know what a semi-saint is? Mean what? What is this guy talking about? Then, he saw Fu Hui continue to say proudly, "Half-sage, equivalent to your half-step world venerable from all worlds. How about it? Now, do you know how powerful our Fu family is?" Fu Hui originally thought that he would be able to see the panicked expression of the purple-clothed youth in front of him, but what he didn't expect was, after listening to his words, the other party still looked indifferent. How? Scared? Fu Hui sneered. In his opinion, half-step world venerable, that is the existence of the fifth level of the strongest. Even in the eyes of this hillbilly-like supreme of 10,000 realms, it is an invincible existence. As for saying that the other party is also a half-step world venerable, he absolutely does not believe it. Even if the news is blocked, it is impossible for a half-step Jesuin not to know what the half-holy and half-holy forces in the outer world mean. Certainly, in this world, there is another type of people who are not afraid of their Fu family and can even despise their Fu family. That is the sage and the powerful man of the world who are above the half-sage and half-step world venerable. Certainly. Now there is still the existence of the seventh level of the strongest that surpasses saints and world-venerated powerhouses. However, there are only two people in those existences. Moreover, they have nothing to do with the Fu family. How did he know? If the Fu family had anything to do with those two, they would have bragged about it everywhere. As for the enmity, it is impossible for them, the Fu family, to provoke even saints and world prestige powerhouses, let alone those two existences who are above saints and world prestige powerhouses. Because of this, he never thought that the most powerful person in front of him would be a saint, a world-venerated person or above. So you thought I didn't know half-sages, but half-step world venerables? Tu Duan Lingtian smiled. It turned out to be the case. Just now, the other party bluntly guessed that he was a man of the myriad worlds, which really made him feel astonished for a moment. How did his identity as a man of all worlds be exposed? Is it written on your face? Okay, I'm too lazy to talk nonsense with you. Take me to the Fu family. Otherwise, they'll send you to see your servant right away. Duan Lingtian waved his hand impatiently, and then a force swept out, taking Fu Hui and disappearing in front of everyone's eyes in an instant. It is teleportation. With his current strength, he can easily teleport people. Of course, teleporting with someone is much more restrictive than teleporting by yourself. After a while, Duan Lingtian appeared above the city with Fu Hu's pale complexion. His eyes were full of bewilderment and bewilderment. Since this person knows that a half-sage is equal to a half-step world venerable, why doesn't he show any signs of panic? Isn't he afraid of having two half-lived Fu family? Senior, who are you? Fu Hui asked with a trembling voice. He is not a fool either. Just now, he thought the other party was frightened. But now, judging from the other party's performance, where is he scared? More like it doesn't matter. Where is the Fu family? Show me the way. Duan Lingtian glanced at Fu Hui. His tone was so cold that Fu Hui felt as if he had fallen into an ice cellar, His whole body was icy cold. If the person in front of me is someone the Fu family can't afford to provoke, it doesn't matter if he leads the way, but once the other party pats his and leaves afterwards, and the rest of the Fu family know that he led the way, what will they do to him? At that time, even if his grandfather is one of the strongest members of the Fu family, it may be difficult to keep him. The Fu family is a family with two semi-saint powerhouses. Although there are less than 100 powerful people among them, there are dozens of them. And his grandfather, as the existence of the first level of power, is only at the bottom among them. Worth mentioning. Senior, if I show you the way, can you release me outside our Fu family's residence? Fu Hui said with a bitter face. He really didn't want to be a traitor. No more nonsense. They'll send you to see your servant. One Duan Lingshan's eyes turned cold, and his tone was full of impatience. Then, over there, the Fu family is over there. Fu Hui was so frightened that he trembled all over, and then hurriedly stretched out his fingers, not daring to hesitate any longer. Die and die. It is better to die later than to die now. Chapter 45-57. Under Fu Hu's guidance, Duan Lingtian arrived outside the Fu family's residence smoothly. As a semi-holy family in the area of Qingyun's sacred sect, the Fu family occupies a vast area, even bigger than the semi-holy family Duan in the area of Bibo Tianfu that Duan Lingtian visited in the past. Fujia. With a cold gaze, Duan Lingtian snorted, and then ignored Fu Hui who was leading him the way. With a teleport, he passed through the Fu family's protective formation and entered the sky above the Fu family. Fu Liangming, Fu Liangyu, get out! Duan Lingtian shouted lightly. The next moment, bursts of terrifying aura swept out from him, turning into a space storm in an instant, sweeping in all directions and spreading out continuously. At this moment, the Fu family's residence, which was originally peaceful, also raised a large clan protection formation, and a powerful translucent defensive mask was raised, intending to resist the power that swept out of Duan Lingtian at will. However, boom, rumble, loud noises sounded as if the sky was collapsing, but it was the Fu family's clan protection formation, which was vulnerable to Duan Lingshan's random power like a chicken and a tile dog. The terrifying space storm raged further, and in an instant, most of the Fu family's residence was razed to the ground. Mourning everywhere. Blood flowed like a river. The weak members of the Fu family were crushed to death like ants this time. The stronger members of the Fu family were lucky enough to escape death, but they were also in a panic. The most powerful. It's not just an ordinary Xian. There were exclamations everywhere. Who are you? Soon there were the most powerful members of the Fu family. While resisting Duan Lingshan's power and protecting many members of the Fu family, they rose from the sky and rushed towards Duan Lingshan's place. Started alone. Then, the second strongest person, the third strongest person, and the fourth rose up from the sky one after another, surrounded Duan Lingtian, and stared at Duan Lingtian covetously. However, in the depths of their eyes, there is a sincere fear. It's not because of the destructive power of the power shown by the other party just now. That kind of destructive power, a few of them can also do it. The reason why they are afraid now is because of what the other party said just now. The other party asked Fu Liangming and Fu Liangyu from the Fu family to get out, and those two are the pillars of their Fu family, two half-saints. Not coming. Facing the dozen or so powerhouses surrounding him, Duan Lingtian looked around, but he didn't see Fu Liangyu who had met once before. As for Fu Liangming, he was obviously not there either. Among these Xians, judging by their power aura, the strongest is the existence of Xian's fourth level. Who are you? How did I, the Fu family, offend you? Soon, a gloomy, extremely angry voice came from the depths of the Fu family's residence. Along with the sound, there was a figure like a ghost. Feng Su came to Yufeng in a blink of an eye. To Duan Lingtian, he was not an unfamiliar figure. It was the person from the Fu family that he saw in the past when he brought the half-sage of Yuyi Duan Yue back to the Nishan realm and returned to the Thunder Sacred Realm outside the realm. Fu Liangming's younger brother. In the past, Duan Yui's whereabouts were most likely sent back to the Fu family by the other party, and then Fu Liangming from the Fu family joined hands with other semi-sages to kill her. After several years, Fu Liangjia's appearance has not changed, but her temperament has changed greatly. Her whole body exudes the aura of a superior person, like a king looking down on the world. Although he met Duan Lingtian, but at that time his attention was all on Duan Yue, and he didn't pay much attention to Duan Lingtian, so he didn't recognize Duan Lingtian at the first time. But, although he didn't recognize Duan Lingtian, seeing that the other party dared to break into the Fu family like this, and even killed members of the Fu family indiscriminately, facing him, the new half-sage of the Fu family, he still had a face of fearlessness, but it was not difficult to see that the other party was serious. Confidence. I'm afraid it is at least a half-saint. Otherwise, how dare you provoke him and his elder brother as soon as you open your mouth? Fu Liangyu, but I haven't seen you for a few years, and you don't remember me? Duan Lingtian looked at Fu Liangyu and smiled coldly. You really are a noble person who forgets things too much. I know you. Fu Liangyu frowned. Hearing what the other party said, he had met him? Since you don't remember, there's no need to think about it. Duan Lingtian glanced at Fu Liangyu blankly. After all, even if you think about it, it's useless, because you will be a dead person soon. The moment the voice fell, Duan Lingtian did not see any movement, and a dazzling light shot out of him in an instant, like a shooting star flashing across the sky. Before Fu Liangyu could react, she had already entered his body. Fu Liangjia's complexion changed drastically. When he just came back to his senses, his face froze, and then his eyes darkened, and his body began to shatter. In an instant, Fu Liangjia's fragmented body was swept away by a burst of spatial ripples in the void, and instantly turned into powder, blown away by the wind. A majestic demi-saint who died in a blink of an eye. Not even bones left. Just in this instant, the sky over the Fu family's mansion was dim for a while, and the cloudy scene of lightning and thunder replaced the original clear sky. One after another sounded like howling ghosts and wolves. The 10,000 zhang golden glow is especially dazzling in the cloudy clouds. Bursts of blood rain poured down from the sky. This kind of scene, with the Fu family as the center, continued to spread and shocked the world in an instant. Distance. One after another figures rose from the sky. Looking in the direction of the Fu family's residence, they all showed surprise. Is there a semi-saint who died? He is a semi-sage who is good at the laws of the metal system. In that direction, in that position, the half-sage who is good at the laws of the metal system is the new half-sage of the Fu family, the Yuhua half-sage Fu Liangyu. Fu Liangyu was killed? My God. It's only been a few years. Yet another half-sage fell in our Thunder Sacred Realm Qingyun Sacred Sect area. A few years ago, a half-sage who was good at the law of life fell, right? The half-sage of the Fu family was killed, causing a commotion in all directions. Even Qingyun Shangzong was shocked. The one who died was Fu Liangyu, the half-sage of the Fu family. After all, the Fu family is a semi-sacred force affiliated with our Qingyun sect. Killing him without saying hello to our Qingyun sect would be too disrespectful to our Qingyun sect. Inside. Let's go. Go to the Fu family to have a look. Fu Liangyu of the Fu family was killed, and I don't know what happened to Fu Liangming. Shooting. Who is it? In the direction of Qingyun Shangzong, many half-sages rushed to the Fu family. The Fu family went deeper. An old man who had been in retreat to attack the realm of a saint was also awakened. Why bother me to retreat? Didn't I tell you that unless the Fu family is in danger of genocide and even my younger brother can't resist it, can I interrupt my cultivation? In view of the general environment, this site may be closed at any time. Please move to the permanent source replacement app, Huanyuan app. Org as soon as possible. The old man's voice was full of anger. And he is none other than Fu Liangming, the brilliant semi-sage of the Fu family. Soon, outside, a mournful cry came. Great ancestor, the second ancestor, was killed just now. The Fu family needs the great ancestor to take charge of the overall situation. Hearing this, Fu Liangming's complexion changed instantly, and his eyes showed a truly incredible look. Someone killed his younger brother Fu Liangyu? How can it be? Although he thought it was unlikely, Fu Liangming left the customs immediately, and after further questioning the people guarding outside, he turned into a gust of wind and rushed out. "Who are you? Why did you kill my brother?" Fu Liangming's voice resounded throughout the Fu family's residence, with shocking anger in his tone. Chapter 45-58. In a large area centered on the Fu family's residence, the blood rain was still frightening. The bright golden light gradually dimmed after appearing for a period of time. During this process, there was a vague golden human figure, which originally stood upright between the sky and the earth, but now it crashed down. The howling of ghosts and wolves gradually subsided, but the Fu family went up and down, from a group of powerful people to a group of survivors. Looking at the scene in front of them, chills rose deep in their hearts. Old ancestor was killed? The ancestor is a semi-holy powerhouse, and he died in a blink of an eye? Who is he? A saint? It must be a saint. If it weren't for a saint, how could he have such terrifying strength? A group of people from the Fu family were filled with fear in their hearts at this time, and their gazes looking at the purple figure standing above the void were even more frightening that could not be concealed. Who can tell them who the person in front of them is? Why come to Fu Jiaxing to question them? And why did they kill the second patriarch of the Fu family, Yuhua semi-sage Fu Liangyu? But soon, a voice full of rage, like thunder, interrupted their thoughts. "Who are you? Why did you kill my brother?" Hearing this voice, everyone in the Fu family guessed who the voice was. It was the patriarch of their Fu family, Mingyao semi-sage Fu Liangming. The great patriarch is here. Many people's eyes lit up, and their faces were full of hope. But there are more people, but they still look ugly, without the slightest joy of the great ancestor. It's just because the invading enemy that the Fu family faced this time was really too powerful, and it only took one blow to kill the second ancestor of the semi-holy realm. The great patriarch, who is also a semi-saint, even though his strength is much stronger than the second patriarch, but he definitely does not have the ability to kill the second patriarch. Not to mention killing the second ancestor easily in a short period of time. Fu Liangming, Duan Lingtian stood there, looking calmly at another old man who appeared in front of him. This old man looked quite similar to Fu Liangyu, and the aura radiating from him was even more domineering. A novel app that has been running stably for many years, comparable to the old version of the book-chasing artifact, the source-changing app used by old bookworms, Huanyuan app. Org. Based on the previous words of this person, it is not difficult for him to guess the identity of the other party. Fu Liangming, the semi-sage of the Fu family who has been famous for many years. He was also one of the few half-sages who killed the Yue half-sage Duan Yue, who recognized him as his younger brother. "Your Excellency, I don't know how our Fu family offended you. How did my younger brother and I offend you?" The current Fu Liangming, when he appeared in front of Duan Lingtian, he forcibly suppressed the murderous intent on his face and eyes, and even temporarily suppressed his anger. It's just because, in the process of coming, he also gradually calmed down. Can kill his younger brother Fu Liangyu. Can this person be an ordinary person? At least it is also the existence of the realm of saints. Hee. Facing Fu Liangming's question, Duan Lingtian chuckled, and the smile on the corner of his mouth turned into a sneer in an instant. "Is that Fu Liangming? You? Could it be that you forgot the Yue half-saint who died in your hands a few years ago?" If he really wants to deal with Liangming, the difficulty for Duan Lingtian to kill him is no different from killing Fu Liangyu, even if his strength is much stronger than Fu Liangyu. However, he still has something to learn from the other party. After all, Fu Liangming was not the only one who killed his sister Yue half-sage back then. There were other half-sages as well. Following Duan Lingshan's voice fell, Fu Liangming was taken aback for a moment, then he came back to his senses, and his expression changed instantly. "Half-holy night. You came here for Yue Bansheng?" Fu Liangming looked at Duan Lingtian, took a deep breath. His eyes were filled with horror. He never expected that this person came here for Duan Yue, who died in his hands in the past. Back then, he learned from his younger brother Fu Liangyu that the half-saint Yi had appeared in the area of the Qingyun sacred sect. He immediately found the other two half-saints, and the three joined forces to kill each other. It's just because Ban Xingyi has enmity with him. And today, a strong man who was clearly above the level of a saint came to the Fu family, started a killing spree, and even killed his younger brother Fu Liangyu, who had been promoted to a semi-saint, and told him that he came for the sake of the semi-sacred Yu Yi. How can it be? Fu Liangming was startled and terrified. How did Yue Duan know such a powerful saint? Wrong. Soon, Fu Liangming came back to his senses and thought of another question. The fact that he killed Yu Yi Banqing was only known to a few people, and it was not spread later. After all, if it spread, it might offend Bibo Tianfu, who is as famous as Qingyun's sect. Anyway, the Duan family behind Yue, the half-sage of Yu Yi, also belongs to the half-sacred family under the command of Bibo Tianfu in the area of Bibo Tianfu. It is impossible for Yu Yi Banqing's message to leave the Qingyun sacred sect's jurisdiction, unless someone within the Qingyun sacred sect received a summons from Yu Yi Banqing at that time. They would know that I and the other two teamed up to kill her, and the person in front of me learned it from that person. Or, this person was in the area of Qingyun's sacred sect at that time. But if that's the case, how could he wait until today to attack our Fu family? In the blink of an eye, Fu Liangming thought a lot. Soon, he thought of a possibility. This person, when Duan Yue died, was he just a semi-saint? Recently, I just became a saint, so I rushed to the door immediately to avenge Duan Yue. The more Fu Liangming thought about this brain supplement, the more he felt it was possible. Your Excellency, I do not understand what you are saying. Fu Liangming looked at Duan Lingtian, frowned and said, Duan Yue, the semi-sage of Yue, indeed. I have some conflicts, but her death really has nothing to do with me. Did you misunderstand? Did you find the wrong person? In any case, there is a high probability that the opponent is a saint or higher. He is not an opponent, and the Fu family is not an opponent, so he can only admit defeat first. This kind of thing, even if he did it, can't admit it. Maybe the other party got the news from someone else. If so, he firmly denies it, and the other party may also doubt the authenticity of the news. Misunderstand? Duan Lingtian was startled for a moment, but then he also realized that Fu Liangming had a fluke mentality. With a flick of his mind, he lifted his hand casually, and suddenly a terrifying force restrained Fu Liangming. Then, fix Fu Liangming in the distant void and completely imprison him. What a powerful force! After Fu Liangming was imprisoned, he tried to break free with all his strength but couldn't help it. His face changed completely, and his eyes showed fear. At this moment, he also thoroughly confirmed. The purple-clothed youth in front of him is definitely an existence above a saint. I know that you and others teamed up to kill Yue Banqing. Now, tell me who the others are. If you cooperate with me honestly, I can give you a good time. If you don't cooperate with me, I will make you regret it. In Duan Lingshan's calm tone, there was a fearful killing intent. Fu Liangming's expression changed again. Before he could speak, call. Several figures appeared one after another over the Fu family's residence. They were the semi-sages who had just rushed over from the Qingyun sacred sect. Your Majesty, be merciful. The Fu family is a subordinate family of our Qingyun sect, and Fu Liangming is also a member of our Qingyun sect, and is protected by our Qingyun sacred saints. Your Excellency, even if Fu Liangming offends you, if you want to deal with him, please first say hello to the Saint Patriarch of our Qingyun sacred sect. Otherwise, it is impossible for our Qingyun sacred sect to watch him being dealt with by you. Your Excellency, you must give Qingyun sacred sect an explanation for your killing of Fu Liangyu. Otherwise, our Qingyun sacred sect's sages and powerhouses will never let it go. Several half-sages of the Qingyun sect, although they also realized that the purple-clothed youth in front of them was a strong saint, they were still extremely strong. In the words, they even brought out the saint powerhouse of their Qingyun sacred sect. To know, they Qingyun Shangzong, but there are two saints and strong men. This is also where their confidence lies now. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.